what I want to do is a prelim. Check this out. All right, how many of you have seen the show Shark Tank? Here in the States, we've got that. I think there's a version of it over in the UK. But what that is when a bunch of our resident entrepreneur billionaires get together, they got a panel show on TV, and individuals with an idea approach them and say, hey, what do you think? Are we on to something? Is this worth your time and investment? And do you think that that people out in the general public would benefit from what we've got? And what ends up happening is the sharks kind of put everybody through the ringer, put them through the grill, and they make a decision. You know, either it's worthwhile or it's not. Either they make an investment in it or they say thank you very much. Well, check this out. I want you to just watch a quick video, because one of the sharks, right, Kevin Harrington, you might have seen him before. He's been talking with us a little bit, and long story short, there's a special event that's going on tomorrow, and I want you to make a note of it, because it's something, or not tomorrow, Monday, 29th, Monday, something you could be a part of. So check this out as a little 1-minute prelim, and then we'll get the ball rolling.
Hi, I'm Kevin Harrington, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank. Since inventing the infomercial, I've started and invested in numerous companies myself and seen almost every crazy idea out there. Now, years later, I've learned how successful entrepreneurs are now making money with money. Now, I'm going to show you how to do the exact same thing. I'm going to show you how to trade like a shark. This coming Monday, August 29th, I'm going to teach you how entrepreneurs are actually leveraging up to 50 times their investment in their business. Simply go to tradelikeashark.com and register your seat. Best of all, this event is 100% free, but only August 29th. Join me for this live event to be streamed online. Register your seat before all the seats are taken. Go to tradelikeashark.com and register now. I'll see you Monday, August 29th. Hi, I'm Kevin.
So guess what's happening there? Kevin wants to teach you to trade like a shark. You know who's going to teach you? We are, right? Because we're kind of the lead dogs when it comes to Forex trading. And the fact of the matter is, between him, the chief, Josh Martinez, some people you might have met here at our group, you want to talk about mainstream, you want to talk about the lead dog in the industry, well, that's us, gang. And you probably heard of us before, right? Market Traders Institute has been training new people like you to trade the Forex market for the last 22 years, all right? We got over 30,000 people that have come through our program. Matter of fact, we've been at it the longest. We got the longest track record, the most trained students. All right, so I think if you're going to come to a webinar, you want to hear from the best. And by good luck or good fortune, you found it. All right, we get all the press. All right, Inc. magazine names us one of the fastest growing companies in the world. Fact of the matter is, they talk about us and Microsoft in the same breath. So I think if you came here looking for opportunity, you came to the right place. I think if you're a trader now in any market and you're looking to leverage, right, your knowledge and enthusiasm and get some results out of it, you got to pick the right market. You got to find the right people to work with, and more than anything, you got to find a formula. All right, what we're all looking for as traders is a formula that works. Right, you find something that works, you can just keep doing it. But that chase to find that thing is always the carrot. All right. Well, what I'm going to show you today is the carrot. And the fact of the matter is, it's not one that's out there somewhere, but it's one that you can actually start nibbling on, right? Put it to the test, go ahead, try it out, test it out, see if the darn thing works. All right, but we're on to something. And it's one thing to say it, and it's another thing to show it to you. So how about we take an hour and let me show it to you, okay? Because by the time we're done here, you're going to know flat out more about making money in the Forex market than 99% of the people on the planet. And I'm pretty confident that you haven't seen what I'm about to show you, because if you had, you know what, you'd already be doing it. All right, let me put this together for you. We'll be talking like Forex traders by the time I'm done, and I'm going to put a tool on your desk that's going to be a picture of this market that's going to help you. Okay, you got to have the confidence to push the button. Well, when I put this tool on your desk today, give you an opportunity to try it out, back test it, do what you need to do with it. All right, what I'm going to tell you is it's going to be that picture that you've been looking for. Okay. Fact of the matter is, my whole goal is to get you prepared to get into our trading room and come and trade with us. All right, preparing you to trade with not just any traders, but the ones here at this group. right? The ones that are kind of leading the charge. And what I'm going to do is set up 3 trades for you so that you have something to go on, right? A game plan for right now. Nobody comes to a webinar thinking, you know what, if this guy can show me how to make some money, I'll get started in December, right? You're thinking if I can show it to you, let's have at it for Monday morning, right? Monday morning, you're going to wake up and you're thinking, I got to make some trading money. Well, if what I show you works, let's go make it this week, all right? I'm going to look to show you 1,000 pips for next week. If you don't know what that means, you will in a minute, all right? And about 6,000 to 8,000 pips, all right, by the end of the year. So really, there's some meat on the bone here. And I want to get you started today. But know this, no matter what I show you, all right, anything that I show you today, you're going to be able to take advantage of, try it out, test it out. You can do that risk-free to you financially. So with that in mind, let me do a quick introduction, all right? Who's given me permission kind of to be on the microphone talking to you? Well, that's the boss. That's my boss. And in fact, some of you know him as the chief anyway, right? That's the FX chief, Jared Martinez. Now, what do you need to know about him? Jared had a lot of success in this market, right? Made himself a couple of $1 million very early on. And when you have that kind of success, you get a lot of attention, all right? He was doing all the interviews on CNN and CNBC, Fox Business. You might have seen him on there before. A lot of individual investors saw him and said, hey, if this guy can do that, let me approach him and find out if he can help me. And he got approached by so many people that he thought, okay, how do I help these people out? And what he decided to do first was write a trading book, all right? Forex trading book, how to trade the Forex, right? And the book itself became a bestseller. But what he found was that a lot of people that got the book came back to him a second time. And they said, listen, I appreciate the knowledge, I appreciate the strategies, but is there any way we can go a step further with it? I don't just want to buy a book, all right? I want to go a step further. Is there any way we can do something together? Can we do it direct, live, hands-on? What were they asking? Can I trade with you? Right? And that's just a natural thing that I think everybody wants to ask. If you find a successful trader, you want to tap them on the shoulder and say, hey, can I trade right next to you, just mirror what you do? Because that's probably a pretty good formula for success. When he kept hearing that, he said, you know what, there's a need, right? There's a need for people to be able to cross over from knowledge into action. And that's why he started this group, all right? Market Traders Institute was designed, right, to do things with people like you, direct and live and hands-on. Okay, now today he's going to count on me to get you started so that you have the knowledge that you need to take that step forward with us. So I'm going to get you singing off the same sheet of music with our group, and then it's going to be up to you to say, okay, I think I can do it. Let's go ahead and work together. All right, now that's my smiling face. Some of you have seen me before. I'm Joe Cavallero, been trading markets since I graduated college back in '94. Got licensed in all of them. All right, stock options, commodities, futures, and Forex. I've been a principal at a couple of firms. I've traded 7- and 8-figure accounts for those firms. Why? Because I guess I knew what I was doing, right? Had a formula, continued to do that on a daily basis. And the fact of the matter is, when you get good at this stuff, what they do is they turn you into a desk manager. Guess what my job was there? To take other traders, make them profitable. Okay, when you're managing a trading desk, your whole goal is to make sure everybody sitting on the desk is profitable too. So I know how to do this myself, but I also know how to translate this, okay? And today what I'm going to do is act as if you just sat down on my trading desk, and I'm just going to do what I've done before, right? I'm going to show you how to be successful and make some money at this, all right? You'll see it. Then you just decide if it holds water, okay? And then you go do it, all right? So let's do those steps in order. But the fact is, I know what your keys to success are. I got to get you past, right, that part of you, and I don't want you to turn your brain off on this, but I got to get you past the part of you that says, I don't know, I'm not sure, all right? I got to get you past the part that says you don't know if you can do it or you're not sure if the stuff I'm showing you works, okay? The best way to do it is to show it to you over and over again so that you can see it and then make the decision, right, to give it a shot. You found the right market. All right, bottom line is this. I know the difference between them. You've been trying to trade stocks, you trade options, you trade binaries, you trade futures, you tried everything under the sun. And one reason that those markets, right, don't work the way that you hope they would is because, right, those markets aren't necessarily built for your success. There's a lot of holes in them. What's one of them? Market opens and closes. What does that do? Leaves gaps of time, which leaves gaps of price, which leaves you exposed to higher risk. Right? Apple closes at 100. There's bad news. Market doesn't open until the next day at 88, and that's the earliest you can get out. When you've got a market that's open 24 hours, okay, and it's liquid through every price, That means you can get in or out whenever you want to. It can be convenient, but also there's no big gaps of time. All right, opportunity. Well, all the markets have opportunity, but they're a little expensive. Okay, fact of the matter is you got to find one that gives you upside and protects your downside. This market is literally built for your success, and I'm going to show you that stuff. All right, we're going to have some fun with it. You got to have a formula, series of steps that you follow that keep leading you to success. I'll teach you a formula today. All right, discovered by the chief. All right, then what do you need? And I want you to circle this one. All right, you got to find some people, gang. I know what it's like to say I want to be the hero when I turn on my computer. I want to make $1 million. I'm going to sit here in my dining room or my den, right? And I'm going to go trade the markets. I'm going to be that rugged individual. But I'm going to tell you something. When you find the right people to trade with, that's going to accelerate your opportunity, and it's going to accelerate your potential for success by about tenfold. Okay? There's going to be a time where you are stuck and you don't know which decision to make, and there you are sitting there all alone. You can try and look at the charts all you like, but the fact of the matter is when you're stuck and you're not pushing the button and you're not in a decisive mode, okay, and you got nobody to turn to, that's when bad things can happen. All right, on the flip side, if you're sitting there by yourself and you see an opportunity and you're still waiting to push the button and you miss it, all right, opportunity runs away from you. Good things are happening and you're not grabbing them. That's when your team comes in, okay? That's when trading with the right people going to help you. They can show you. Telling you is one thing. Showing you is totally different, okay? When you got somebody showing you and executing, that's going to help you. And that's really what this is going to be all about. You got some education, you got some tools and the right team, all right? The last part's going to be you making a commitment to doing this. Now, what I'm going to show you today is not going to require some heavy commitment, all right, in terms of time. It's going to require your focus. All right, but I'm not a big believer in just sitting in front of the screen. Time isn't the factor. All right, your commitment level means that you're focused for a certain amount of time on doing things the right way. Okay, and if you're committed to doing this, give me a half an hour a day. I'm here to tell you that half an hour can change your life. Okay, now it's all easy to say. Okay, all of this is very easy to say, but you're talking about one thing that's the most important, Joe. Show me some results, brother. Because I'll do what you need me to do. In fact, if you give me results, that commitment part is going to take care of itself. Okay, I'll show up if I got something that works. Show me some results. And I'm going to concentrate on that today because that's really going to be the key. And when you have the formula for success, all right, not a secret, just a formula, right, a series of steps that you follow and repeat over and over again that keeps leading you to success, well, that's the thing that the chief discovered. Okay, he discovered a formula, right, that not only led him to success, but also the people that work with our group. The nice part is he shares the formula. All right, every Sunday, what do? We create a game plan. We analyze 21 currency pairs. All right, we create a game plan for those currency pairs. All right, a game plan for the upcoming week. And what do? We simply trade the formula. All right, we average anywhere from 1,500 to 4,000 pips a week. Now, what does that mean? If you're a trader, right, trading our recommendations, all right, and let's say you were trading for $1 a pip, you could make anywhere from 1,500 to 4,000 pips a week just following the formula, all right? Now, it's one thing to say it, and it's another to verify it, and I want to show you something, all right? One way that we verify things here is third-party verification. You see this thing right here, all right? All the results at MTI are third-party verified, and as a matter of fact, here's what I'm going to do for you right now. In your chat box, I'm going to send you something, all right? I'm going to send you, in fact, I just sent you the link, all right, to our third-party verification. And what you just got here is an opportunity to go ahead and look at the results that we get in our accounts, real money, with all of our individual, right, team people, all right, those people I've been talking about. And if you go down to one of them, let's just say you go down to Tyson Clayton, all right, who since June has netted 18,000 pips. The beauty of looking at his results is that they are third-party verified, okay? Track record verified, trading privileges, everything here is third-party verified. So that's one way that you're going to verify stuff, and that's going to be important when you decide what it is you want to do. All right, you're not going to just jump into something haphazardly. You want to see results. All right, what's the other way? Try it out. The other way that you're going to get verification is to test what I show you and see if it works. All right, I'm going to give you that opportunity to do that today. All right, everything I show you, you can put right on your desk today, and I'll let you try it out for 60 days to make sure that it works and that you can do it before you have to make any kind of final decision on whether or not you want to. All right, I know you expected when you came here today to see something. All right, and the fact of the matter is, I'm going to show it to you. I got the best market that there is to be able to show it to you in, and when you start talking about results like that, you got to find out what that's about. So we're going to talk about the Forex, all right? Why do you want to trade it? It gives you every available advantage. The top one is leverage, okay? When it comes to markets, all right, you got to put your money to its best possible use. And when you got a market that's giving you 50-to-1 leverage, what that means is you don't have to bring a whole lot of your money, all right, to make a whole lot of noise. In this market, write this number down. If you got $2,000 to start with, that's all you'll ever need. All right, I'll show you today how you can start with $200 and still make a whole lot of noise. Okay, I can't talk about any other market like that. You got $200. We're talking about the stock market. What can you do? Buy 2 shares of Apple, right? That's not going to get you anywhere. In this market, even with $200, all right, you're going to be able to do something with that round the clock in a liquid market, right? Upside's phenomenal, downside's protected. All right. And I know I've got to put that together in a way that makes sense for you, and I will. All right. You'll just be able to decide if what I'm telling you holds water. But the best part is it's not going to take you long to become a Forex trader. Now, some of you got some experience in this. All right. Some of you are brand new. So here's what you need to know. All right. I can turn anybody here into a Forex trader in about 10 minutes because mechanically it's easy. All right, mechanically, you don't need to know a whole lot. You got to know your major currencies. If you know them, great. If you don't, write them down. There they are: Canadian, Euro, Pound, Yen, Swiss, and Australia. Okay? If you know those, you're 90% of the way there. All right, well, what's the other 10%? Well, you got to know what an exchange rate is. All right, an exchange rate. Now, most of you know what that is because you've been traveling, right? You've been traveling, you go up to the little currency booth, you see an exchange rate, you know what to do immediately, right? Yep, I can trade the euros out of my pocket for the dollar at the going rate, right? If you know that, you're real close, okay? Tourists talk about dollars and cents, though, when it comes to exchange rate. Traders talk about pips, right? That's these last 2 decimal places. We call those price interest points. This, for traders, is where the profit is. Okay, for Forex traders, the profit exists in these last 2 decimal places. Tiny little moves in the exchange rate are what we're going to look to capture. Okay, now what are those tiny little moves worth? I'll tell you about that in a second. Okay, the key is this: you got to know that the pips, all right, are what we're looking to capture. Now, where do they come from? Strength and weakness. Strength and weakness. Okay, if I got a strong euro, the exchange rate's going to go up. If it goes up from 114.35 to 114.85, that's 50 pips. You see that? Now you know where to find them. They're over here, right? 3rd and 4th decimal place. So at that point, right, all you're thinking is, well, what are we trading? All right, you're going to trade currencies in lots. Stock market is shares, right? Options market, we buy and sell contracts. Currency, we trade lots. Now, what's a lot worth? Every time you move a position in this market, okay, if you're moving 1 lot of currency, that's going to be worth $100,000. Now, in the old days, you used to have to deposit $100,000 just to get started, but anymore it's different. Okay, if you're going to trade this market, you don't have to bring the big number to the table. You bring a small amount. The broker that you work with matches your deposit 50-to-1. All right, that's where the leverage comes from, and that's the secret, sort of, to getting you in the game. Why? Just do the math and you'll see it. Okay, if you make a $2,000 deposit and the broker matches your deposit 50-to-1. Well, what's that equal to? 100,000. Now you can trade lots of currency. So you got the broker's help to do it. You're going to open a brokerage account. I'll show you how to do it in a second. Okay? The broker you work with is going to provide you the leverage. That's what's going to get you in the game. Now, first question everybody has: why do they do that? Why do the broker? Why are they so friendly about it? Right? Why do they want to help me so much? Okay, they got something in it for them. All right, and I'm going to tell you everything today so you really know what this is. Okay, yes, you're going to open an account. Yes, the broker is going to provide you the leverage. And yes, there's something in it for them for doing it. What they're going to do is collect a couple of pips, right, on every trade that you do. It's called the spread. Some people call it a tip, a toll, a commission, whatever you want to call it, right? The broker's going to collect a little something, but in turn, they're going to give you what you need to get in the game. And that's how it works, all right? That's how it works. So when you open an account, this happens automatically. And now guess what? You're ready to trade. Really? We've been here 10 minutes. I know. All right. But you're ready to trade at this point because there's nothing else that you really need to know in order to do that. All you got to do is pick one of the currencies and go buy it. Now, how easy is that to do? Watch this. All right. You're going to go to an online Forex brokerage firm. Okay. And you're going to go to their website. Like this is Oanda. All right. This is one of the worldwide brokerage firms that you can open an account with. All right. There's some others. I'll get to them in a second. Let me just walk you through this example. If you go to Oanda's website and you click on open a trading account and give them, right, some very basic information, your name, your email address, so forth, okay, the country that you're in, you can literally sign up in a couple of minutes for an account. Now, once you give them the basic information, what's going to happen, right? They're going to send you a download link and a username and a password, all right? What does it look like? Well, you get the download link, you get the username and the password, okay, you submit that. What they do is they send you a link that you'll download so you can open up their trading platform. Looks just like this. I'm walking through the steps right now just to show you how easy this is. All right. Once you, right, get that link and you run it, what's going to appear on your screen, right, once you put in a username and a password, here, username and password. Is a trading platform. Okay? Trading platform looks like this. Give it a second to populate. Where'd it go? Here it is. All right? This is a trading platform. This is what you're going to have right on your desk. Over here you got your currencies, right? The euro, the pound, the Australian, the yen, the Swiss, the Canadian. Okay? Over here you got a picture of the currency in a certain time frame. This is the dollar Swiss on the 5-minute chart. What do we say we're going to trade? The pound, right? Let's just put up the pound. Right? And let's put, yeah, there it is on the 5-minute chart. Maybe I can put it on the 1-hour chart. You see this? And then up here, you got a place to keep score. Okay? You want to see how easy it is to buy a currency? You come over here, and there's a buy button or a sell button. Now, the market's closed right now, so we can't really do a live trade. But to show you how easy it is, all you got to do is click on the buy button and fill out the ticket. Okay? If I'm going to buy the Great British Pound, let's say I want to buy one lot. Well, that's worth $100,000. I hit submit, and literally in 1 second or less, when the market's open, I'd have bought that currency. Okay, I'd be in the market. It would show over here on my chart exactly where I got in, so I could graph it and match it to what's happening in the market right now. And then up here, I'd have a scorecard, and it would keep track pip for pip how I'm doing in real time. All right, just like your stock trading account. So what's the point I'm making here? You got to have one of these, right? You got to have a place to trade. If you don't have one already, I'm telling you, you can literally sign up for one of these things in a couple of minutes, all right? Now, if you want to go to a different firm, right, you want to do a little investigating, right, you can go to Forex.com. They're the biggest in the world. You click on open an account, what happens, right? Open a Forex trading account, give them basic information. They're going to ask you what country you're in. That's fine, A to Z, just find it, okay? As soon as you do that, they send you the link. You got their platform. They all look the same. Okay, you got a graph. You got a place to do your buying and selling. All right, and you got a place to keep score. Okay, who else does this? FXCM. That's another one. All right, same thing. Now, what's this button here? Practice account. Look at. You can open an account and be ready to put some money in it. Okay, if you want to do it with most of the firms, they'll take a debit card. So if you want to be trading by Monday, from front to back on this with a deposit, right, you can literally be trading in about 15 minutes. But if you're not quite ready to do that yet because you want to practice a little bit, then open a practice account. It's the same steps. It's the same platform, right? Most of them have a place that'll link up to your smartphone so you can trade while you're doing anything else, right? Give them basic information. Pick your country, all right? And in a practice account, they'll give you some play money. All right, where everything is real except the money part. It's real-time trading. Okay, it's real-time pricing. It's real-time tracking. Okay, the only thing is it's not real money, but it's a real example. Well, why would you do that? Well, so you can get a feel for things. Okay, figure out what all the buttons do before you go trading for real. That way you're not fumbling around, right, when it's time to trade some real dough. So with that, I just want to know, all right, can you all handle that part mechanically? Mechanically, it's simple. Go to open an account, you click on buy or sell. Right? Can you all handle that? If you can, just type a yes in the chat box. I don't want to insult anybody's intelligence, right? I want to make sure that this is in your wheelhouse, because if it's not, you got to either figure it out or do what I do. Find the nearest 12-year-old that knows computers better than you do and let them download it, right? They can do that part for you. And then a problem solving. If this is out of your area of expertise, right? Find the nearest 12 or 13-year-old. They can help you with that. You guys got it. Okay, good. Now, what did you do in this trade? I just want to give you, for instance, okay? If you do this Great British Pound trade, all right, let's figure out what the value of doing this is in the first place. What did you do here? You bought one lot of the pound. Let's just say that's an example of your first trade. You got 2,000 in it. You get 50 to 1 leverage. You're moving a $100,000 position. Okay. Let's say the exchange rate in the pound while you're in it goes up by 60 pips. There they are, right? Third and fourth decimal place. Okay. If this is the case, how much do you make? Well, the answer is just multiply it out. One lot times 60 pips means on your $2,000 trade, you're looking at making $600. Now that's a good looking number, right? I like that number on a $2,000 investment, right? But the most important thing here that you need to know is these pips, right? How much are they worth? Well, if it took you 60 pips to make $600, it means each pip is worth $10. Write that down. Each pip is worth $10. Okay? Now, the first question everybody has is how often does $600 happen, all right, on a $2,000 investment? What's that going to take? A couple days, couple weeks, right? Here's the answer, right? That happens every day, okay? That 60 pips, that happens every day in all the currencies. This is the daily average, right, opportunity in each of the currencies every day. And as a matter of fact, it's a lot more than 60 pips, right? Just on the euro alone, it's double that. Okay, on the pound, it's not 60 pips, it's 160 every day, and so on. All right? So what am I trying to tell you? You don't need all these to make serious money in the Forex. You don't even need to get one of these. If you can capture half of one of these every day, right, $600 a day, that's $3,000 a week. Okay, 60 pips. Write that down. Now, you might say immediately, Joe, I'm brand new at the Forex. You might get 60 pips. What if I'm brand new? What if I can only get half of that? Fair enough. All right. Let's say you get 30 pips a day, right? 30 pips net. The fact of the matter is that's still $300, okay? From home, at your computer, right? Following a formula. If you can put 30 pips in your pocket every day, you're talking about $1,500 a week. Add that to whatever you're doing, we've made a significant difference, okay? So now what do I have to do? I got to show you how to go get those and protect your downside, because it's not fair to you just to talk about the upside. It's fun, but it's not fair unless I make sure you know that this isn't guesswork, all right? None of this is guesswork. Now, some of you are wondering, well, wait a minute, right? If I'm going to trade those lots and make my 30 pips, that's $300, that's fine. But you said earlier I could start with 200. I don't understand. Well, let me just go ahead and show you the difference very quickly, okay? If you decide you want to start with $2,000, you're going to trade lots of currency for $10 a pip. If you decide that you want to dip your toe in the water first and trade a little bit smaller, okay? Let's say you got $200. Well, you're not going to be able to trade lots, okay? But what you will trade is something called mini lots. Write that down. Mini lots is a way for you to still get leverage, all right? Still a way for you to make some dough, but instead you're going to do it $1 at a time as opposed to $10 at a time. Now, what I tell you at the beginning, we average 1,500 to 4,000 pips a week. $1 at a time, let me show it to you, all right? You can decide what size you want to get in. You can decide where you want to start. You can decide for yourself what works and what doesn't as we go, all right? But I had to spell out the opportunity for you so you can personalize this a little bit, right? None of this is going to be guesswork. We're always going to follow a plan, all right? Anytime you're trading with us, we're always going to follow a plan. Mechanically, you have to follow the plan I'm going to show you right now, all right? Because every trade you do, right, you're going to follow a plan where you enter the market. You got to push the button, all right? But you're also going to protect both sides so you can relax. Now, what does that mean, all right? You're going to protect both sides. Anytime you buy something, the minute you get in it, all this down here is risk. Instead of risking your whole account, here's what you're going to do. You'll build a floor under every trade called a stop order, all right? When you build a stop underneath your trade, what that means is if the trade goes against you, right, it'll get you out of the market automatically. That's a specific type of order. It's a protective order. If you're not sure what that is, please write it down. Know this, all right? Stops in the Forex market are honored at every price. The market doesn't open and close. So if you put a floor under your trade, that floor is like a concrete floor. And if your trade goes against you, all right, and it goes down to your floor, out of the market you go, protecting the rest of your account. That is essential, okay? Essential. Now, what else do we need to do? All right, because everybody wants to say, protect the downside, protect the downside, protect the downside, and it's important. But where you might miss the boat, all right, where most traders miss the boat, is protecting the upside. You can't tell me, if you've traded anything, that you haven't had a fish on the hook, right, a strong profit in a trade that has suddenly gone away. Let me ask you that question. Have you ever had a strong profit in a position that you didn't take, and it suddenly went from a gorgeous profit into a loss? If you've had that experience, please type yes in the box. As a matter of fact, I'll be honest with you, I'll type yes in the box, okay? Have you had the experience as a trader where that's happened to you? Up $1,500, next thing you know, you're down $200 because you didn't know where to take the profit, and you literally let that entire profit disappear. Yes, who hasn't, right? Too often, right, Tom? Listen, we always want to protect the part about the downside. That's the money lost. But you can't make any money unless your trade comes to an end and you put it in your pocket. There's no one trade. Please understand, there is no one trade that is going to lead you to retirement. All right, unless you bought 100 shares of Yahoo back in '94, or you bought 100 shares of Microsoft back in '84. You understand that? There's no one trade that's going to do this for you. So what you need to understand is every trade has a limit. All right, it offers a certain amount. And you've got to understand that when you place an order above the market and it hits that limit, you know where the money goes? It goes into your pocket, and it looks a whole lot better there. Okay, so when we trade, you're going to understand. You're going to risk a little, right? You're going to look to make a lot based on that, and then you're going to move on to the next trade. Keep things simple. Only one of two things will happen when you get in the market. It'll go up or it'll go down. If it goes down, you get a small loss. If it goes up, you get a nice gain, and that's the end of it, okay? This is the exercise you have to repeat, all right? Because if I can show you how to make $50 once, and it's a repeatable thing, what do you need to do? You have to keep going out and making the $50, doing the same things over and over, okay? If I show you how to do something where you make a loss, guess what? You're going to stop doing that, okay? And gosh, I wish I could I wish I could look all of you in the eyeballs so you really understood this point, all right? Because this is what we're going to do. And if somebody comes to you and says, hey, let's go make some money, we got the formula, and it's telling us we're going to risk 10 to make 80. All right, that's a trade you're going to want to take every time, okay? If I can get you to trade this way, all right, I've helped you today, without a doubt, all right? And, of course, what happened on this one? Of course he made the money, because I'm the webinar host, and I'm going to show you examples that work. Why? Number one, because what we do does work, but number two, I want you to see what's possible, okay? And what's possible becomes more probable when you got the right tools. So let me show you the star of the show, all right? Star of the show is the ultimate charting software, okay? Let me walk through this with you so you can see what's built into it. Yes, this is our proprietary piece. Yes, we got over $1 million invested in this thing, all right? What's it designed to do? Well, it's designed to do what traders need, okay? Tell you which way the market's going and where to get in and where to get out, all right? Everybody needs that. Okay, Joe, I've seen software before. I'll give you a shot. Show me yours. All right, what you need to know is that the Forex market does the same thing over and over again. Very different than the other markets, okay? This market develops patterns, and we can read them using these candlesticks on the chart. What do we see right away? Elementary stuff, all right? We see that the market never goes straight up or down. The market moves in waves. Sometimes it's going up, sometimes it's going down, okay? That's not new. But here's what I want to do. I want to isolate one of these patterns for a minute. I'm going to call it ABCD. Write this in your notes, okay? Market starts at a low price, A, moves to a high price, B, right? Runs out of gas up there a little bit and pulls back down to a low price, C, before it moves up to a high price, D, okay? Let's just look at this pattern for a minute, A, B, C, D, and let me ask you a question, okay? Important question. If there was a tool that could measure, let's say, the energy in the market, okay? That positive energy that's carrying the market to the upside from A to B, okay? And let's say the same tool could also measure, okay, the amount of energy building up in the market as it moves from B to C, that potential energy, right? Let's say this tool could measure the amount of energy building up so that before it happens, this tool could tell you, all right, not just which way the market was going next, but how far it was going to go. Do you think that sounds like it might be a helpful tool? Type your answer in the box. And no, it's not a trick question. You don't have time for that, right? You don't have time for trick questions and nonsense. It's a serious question, all right? If you had a tool that could tell you before the market moved, all right, which way it was going to go and how far, do you think that might help you make some money? If you do, type a yes in the box. What's he asking us? If we had a crystal ball, is that helpful? Maybe that's what I'm asking you. Type that answer, of course, right? Thank you. Of course it would, right, Janine? Well, guess what? There is such a tool. All right, it's built into this program. Some of you might already know what it's called. For the rest of you, write it down. It's called the Fibonacci tool. All right, the Fibonacci sequence. Right, this is going to be critical to your understanding of not just how this works, but how you can use it to make money. The Fibonacci sequence. Who the heck is Fibonacci? Real quick, Italian mathematician, okay, came up with a sequence of numbers that can be used to measure everything in nature. All right, that's why they call it nature's numbering system. Look this up when we break. Google it. It's fascinating stuff. All right, you can use the Fibonacci sequence of numbers to measure everything. Number of scales on a fish, the number of petals on a sunflower. We use it on the human body to measure our symmetry, length of our arms versus the length of our legs. All that is Fibonacci stuff. The shape of your ear is a Fibonacci sequence. It's really neat. All right, it's a ratio that literally applies to every living thing, and it's all about patterns and energy. Okay, well, the chief said, wait a second, Forex market is all patterns and energy. So if we can use that Fibonacci thing and apply it here and it works, that's just going to be flat out the key to making money. And the fact of the matter is that tool is built into the program, this Fibonacci tool that I'm talking about. Okay, all you're going to need to do when you get it on your desk is find a low price and a high price and draw a line between the two. When you do that, all right, the tool, the sequence is going to appear on your desk automatically. All right, and it's going to tell you a story. Okay, there it is right there. It looks like a step ladder. It's color coded. Let me show you how it works. Okay, I'll show you how it works first so you understand it. Then I'll show you that it does. All right, so I got to do this in order. What do you see here? Market went from a low price to a high price, a big burst of energy, positive, that carried it to a high price. Okay, once it got to B, what happened? It ran out of gas. Okay, ran out of gas and pulled back down here to a low price, and then it made a U-turn. Okay, markets hit a low price, but then we see it make a U-turn. What do we see here? We see that low price, we'll call it letter C, lines up with a number on this Fibonacci sequence. Okay, some people call these Fibonacci energy levels because that's what it's measuring. I call them trampolines. Why? Because here's what I know. I know how this works, okay? I know that what's happening here is the market is fulfilling, right, a almost universal, right, cosmic energy pattern. You're like, really, Joe? Do I need to get my tinfoil hat out for this one? Listen, listen, all right? What's happening is the market is in a wave of energy, okay? And it's hit this energy level, this red one right here, and it's made a U-turn. That red energy level is actually acting like a trampoline. And what's happening is the market's bouncing off of that trampoline, and it's going up. So now what have we figured? We've got half the battle. We know which way the market is going, okay? But the neat part about the Fibonacci sequence is it can tell us how far the market's going to go. How's it going to do that? Well, it's color-coded, okay? We understand that when the market bounces off a red trampoline, it's going up and it's not stopping till it gets to this red line up here. Now, how do you know that? I just told you it's color-coded. And you're thinking, how do you know that? How do you know the market's going up, let alone how far? Okay, that's what you need to find out. And I told you I would show it to you, all right? But first, you just have to understand how the trampolines work, okay? If you understand that the euro, in this case, is acting within a Fibonacci sequence, a natural sequence, you have to understand that the market is going to bounce off that red number and it's headed up to that red line. Okay? Now, it's possible that we see examples where the market hits letter B, right, and it pulls back, but it pulls back lower. Okay, it's possible we see an example a little later where the market hits that letter B and then it pulls back lower before it makes a U-turn. Let's say we see it where that low price, right, lines up with the blue trampoline. If that's the case, okay, it's still going to act like a trampoline and bounce the market higher. However, it's only going to go up to this blue line. Why? Because that's how this works. That's how the Fibonacci sequence works. All right. If it dips lower, it's going to bounce, but it's not going to bounce as high. And it's the same thing here. If we hit the green trampoline, right, you already figured it out. We're bouncing, right? So we know the direction, but we're only going to bounce to this green line up here. So that's how it works. How? Now I got to show you that it does. Okay. What's happened here is this. The market has gone from A to B and pulled back down here and made a U-turn. We've identified the low price and called it letter C. Okay? What we understand is the market is doing what? It's going to bounce up to that red line sometime in the future. So now we're going to call that our future price, our future D. Okay? A, B, C, D. And if that's the case, if this works, from where we are to where we're going represents our profit opportunity. You put some numbers to it, and that's when it gets to be a little bit fun, right? If the current price of the euro is $1.27, and this is telling us that we're going to $1.60, okay? $1.60. Well, how do you know that? Because it's right here. You see it? The Fibonacci sequence is telling us the price that we're headed to. Well, if that's the case, just do the math on that one. The difference between those two is 3,351 pips. Okay, $10 a pip. If you're trading a standard lot, that's $33,000. And if you're thinking to yourself, well, that's worth looking into, you're right. When I first saw how this worked, right, and I saw the number, I said, show it to me. Does this work? And as a matter of fact, when it was revealed, it showed me that the Fibonacci sequence does work because the market went right to that future D price. Okay, it covered all of that ground and it completed the sequence. A, B, C, D is a complete sequence. And when I saw this, I said, okay, but what's happening up here? Why did the candles change color? Why did we go from blue or white to blue? We stopped going up. What's going on? Here's the answer. It's because the sequence is completed. It's run out of gas again up there at D because what we've done is started a new sequence. And what are we going to do? We're going to put our Fibonacci's on that one, and we're going to go make some money with it. Why? Because this market does this very thing over and over and over again. All right, and it works not just one time. Anybody can show you something that works once. Okay, I'm going to show you that this works not just repeatably, okay, but in all the currencies and in all the time frames. And this is what's going to be what helps you. Okay, the fact of the matter is this market's absolutely measurable. It's absolutely repeatable, and this tool makes it absolutely predictable. All right, if it can do all that, you gotta put it to the test. All right, again, it's one thing to say it, and it's another thing to show it. So let me just go to our market. I'll bring it up on the Ultimate Charting software. Let's marry it to a formula and see if the darn thing works. You guys ready to do that? If you are, right, just let me know. If you're ready for me to go forward, just type go, because I need to know that you're kind of on the wagon here, because this is where the rubber's going to meet the road, right here at this point. You with me? If you are, type go in the chat box. Ben, thank you. Agnet, Janine, Tony, Tiffany, right? You guys ready to do this? All right. Here's what you're going to do. Here's our formula, all right? The one that we've built our whole business on for 22 years, helping out people like you, all right? The formula is 3 charts: the monthly, the daily, and the 2-hour. As a matter of fact, here, let me get organized for a second, all right? I want to look at the euro, right? And we're going to put this together on 3 charts. The monthly is going to give us our direction. The daily is going to confirm it, give us permission to trade it. Then we'll go to the 2-hour chart and we'll trade it. That's where we buy and sell. So we've got direction. We got to know where we're going. We got to have permission, right? The market's got to tell us that it's okay to trade. If it tells us that it's not, we know to avoid it. That's going to be half the battle. Avoiding bad trades, if all you did was avoid your bad trades, you're a profitable trader. You know it. Okay, so if I can do that part for you today, I've helped you. All right, if I can show you that confirmation is going to be a big deal, then we're going to go to the 2-hour chart and we'll be able to trade it. Okay, we'll do this on a couple of currencies so you can see how this works. What I want to do is bring up the euro on the 1 month.
Okay, here it is, the 1 month chart. Now, why am I showing you this? I got to make the point on these Fibonacci's. All right, I showed you they worked once. I got to show you that they work over and over again. All right, so let me go back in time for a minute. All right, let me see if 20 years worth of this thing working is enough for you to say, hey, wait a minute, that might be worth giving a try. What do you mean 20 years? Well, I just went back to February of 95, okay, right here. And what do I see on my chart? A high price. You see that? I got a high price right there, okay? Going forward in time, I got a low price right here. When you get this on your desk, okay, you're going to be looking for high prices and low prices. You're also going to be looking for U-turns, all right, U-turns. What's a U-turn look like? Looks like this, right? When you find a U-turn, right, that's always going to be identified with a high price and a low price. That's a U-turn. It's upside down. You see it? Here's another U-turn right here, okay? Be aware of U-turns. When you find one, give them a label. Let's label this high price A, okay? Let's label this low price B. What do you do next? Once you find those, all you got to do is come up to your tool that's up here in the top of your toolbar, right under this little square. It says Fibonacci Tools. Click on that, drop the menu. All right, when you do, break out with your MTI, right? That's our Fibonacci retracement tool. Now watch this. Once you click on that, little pen shows up. Draw a line between A and B. Okay, there it is. Now what just appeared is my Fibonacci sequence. All right, my Fibonacci numerical sequence is now on the screen, and now I can use it to measure. All right, what did it do first? It measured this negative push, this negative energy right here. Okay, this negative push that dropped the euro in price. But then what happened? It ran out of negative. Okay, and it actually started to push higher till it got to this high price. Well, when I got to this high price, let me give that a label also, C. I just found C. There it is. Okay, A, B, C. What do you need to know? The market has pulled up to this high price. Okay, and then it makes another U-turn and it starts to push down. What is happening here is this. You see how this high price lines up with this red Fibonacci number, this red energy level? What's happening is that red energy level is acting like a trampoline on this currency, and it's pushing it down, right? Once the market got up to that, right, it hits this level, and this acts like a lever and pushes the market down. Now, if this works the way that I've been telling you, okay, what is supposed to happen? What's supposed to happen is if the market's being pushed down off a red trampoline, it's supposed to keep going down until it hits this red line here sometime in the future. Okay? So guess what? This is designating for us where the market's going. This is designating for us, hold on, our future D. Future D. F-U-T-U-R-E, letter D. Okay, it's somewhere out here. All right? Now, if that's the case, if this is the case, let's just figure out where we are. Right now, we're at 105 and change. This says we're going down to 82 and change, right? The euro is going to be trading at 82 cents on the dollar. Now, when the euro is trading at $1.05, that might be hard to believe. You're telling me that the euro is going to trade at 82 cents on the dollar? I'm not telling you that. The Fibonacci sequence is telling you that. All right? What you have to decide is that something you are willing to make an investment in? Okay? Well, if you understand that this is an inevitability, okay, what do you stand to make if that comes through? Well, from 105 here, let's just do the math. What does this say? 105.53. That's your closing price on that candle. 105.53 is where you are. And where you're going is 82.31. So the difference would be 2,300 pips, okay? If you did it with a standard lot, $10 a pip, you're talking about $20,000, 10 times your money. Well, that doesn't look bad. Let's see if it works. Okay, go forward in time. And what you're going to see is this. The market doesn't go straight up or down. Never does, okay? But in this particular case, that negative push, that negative energy keeps pushing this down until what? Until it reaches a low price, okay? And then it makes another U-turn. Well, anytime we see a U-turn, we give it a label, A, B, C. Guess what you found? You just found D. There it is, okay? D is right there. And what you need to notice is where D lines up. It lines up with the Fibonacci level. In other words, we went right to it, okay? And once we got there, we changed direction. Why? What happened there? The sequence was completed. You understand that? The sequence, A, B, C, D, is a complete sequence, okay? That's a Fibonacci sequence. It's very significant. And once it completes the sequence, guess what we do? We start another sequence. Okay? That's the key for you to understand this thing, doing things over and over and over again. All right? You can look at a chart. You can look at a chart. Any chart is going to look like a bunch of squiggly lines. All right? But when you get the story being told that this works over and over again, you've got to make sure that that's true. Well, what happens? You mean where the old one ends, A, B, C, D, right? Another one starts? Correct. All right? And if another one starts right here at letter A, okay, and it moves to a high price right here at letter B, okay? See letter B right here? And it moves then to a low price at letter C. What are you going to do to make money with this? You're going to use those three pieces of information, and your money's going to be made on the way to letter D. Well, let's just go back here, and I'll show this to you so you can see it a little bit more clearly. All right? If this is your sequence, A, B, C, and you put Fibonacci's on it, right? Here we go. Low price, high price. What do you see? The low price C lines up with the green line. You see this? The low price lines up with the green line. So what does it mean? Well, it means we're bouncing off of that and we're going higher, okay? But we're only going to go, in this case, from green to green. Why? Because that's how this works. But is there still money to be made? Well, if my current price is 91 and my green line's at 98, that's 700 pips. Okay, that's $7,000 on a $2,000 investment. Gang, that's 350%. Okay, stock market gives you 6% a year. 350% isn't bad, you know, when you compare the two, but when you understand that this is going to happen, right? It makes the 350% all the more intriguing. Okay, you want to see if it works. Look, when you find C and you understand that it's bouncing off of that energy level, right? The market's going to the green line. It might not go straight to it, but look what's happened here, right? It maintains its positive energy. It ends up going to this line right here, and then what happens? Changes direction. Why? Because it ran out of gas. Why? Because it hit the green line. Okay? It completed the sequence, A, B, C, D. Okay? So now I've shown it to you twice. And at that point, when I saw it twice, I was on the edge of my seat. I'm like, show it to me again. Because it's fascinating, but I got to know how I'm going to use this to make some money with it. And there has to be a degree of confidence. Once is okay. Twice, I'm still interested. What do I do next? Gang, you just keep doing the same thing over and over. Bring your energy forward, okay? A, B, C, D, right, is a complete pattern. But now what have we done? We've started another pattern, and it's about a low price and a high price. The old C becomes the new A, right? That's your new low price. This one here, guess what? That becomes your new high price, okay? We're incorporating energy. We're bringing energy forward, okay? Just draw your lines. It's better if I just keep showing you, all right? I can tell you, hey, this works. It's better to keep showing you. What do you got? A to B. Then it dips down, makes a U-turn, and starts bouncing up, right? When it bounces off the red trampoline, right, where's it supposed to go? It's supposed to go from here to here, okay? Now, if you identify this U-turn right here, okay, this U-turn, right, at this high price, 105, this is still telling you we're going to 112, almost 113. This is still worth 800 pips, 400%, okay? Did it work that time? Well, looks like it did, okay? And once it got there, right, once it completed that sequence, what happened? Change direction. Why? Because now we're on another sequence. This works over and over again, okay? Now, some of you have already complained. Well, it looks like it took a couple of months. Yeah, I guess it did. This one, once you identified it, took 1, 2, 3, 4 months to make you 400%, right? This was $8,000. 4 months to make 400%. Question, would you take it? Type an answer. If it took you 4 months to make 400%, would you take it? If you wouldn't, this is not the right place for you, because that's pretty good, right? if 400% isn't doing it, then you're already making that, and this is a waste of time for you, right? And now if you still need to see a little bit more, let me just show it to you, all right? Because I can. This is the key, all right? When you understand that this continues to work repeatedly, what do you got here? Low price, high price, right? What's supposed to happen? Well, the market's going to find a new low price, right? There's got to be a point where energy pulls back. It has to get on the sequence. Well, guess what? When you find C right here, Okay, you find C right here. What's supposed to happen? What's supposed to happen is the market's supposed to go to D in the future. And look, it did it again. That's the sequence, gang. A, B, C, D. Okay? And at this point, you have to say to yourself, okay, he's shown this to me 1, 2, 3, 4 times in a row. He's telling me it's going to work a 5th time. All right? I'm trying to find something that works. What has he shown me? Well, from 1995 to 2005, it's worked repeatedly. Okay, so that's 10 years worth. And that's every presidential election, every internet bubble, every Asian financial crisis, every U.S. and European market recession. That's all built in there. Okay, so all the things that you're thinking might derail this are all part of nature. They're all part of the energy, right, within the market. So the fact is, you've got to say to yourself at this point, is 10 years enough time for you to make a decision on this? If it is, great. What do you got? You're on a new sequence. You've dipped down and made a U-turn. It couldn't be any more pronounced than this. Okay, markets come down to the red level. Where's it supposed to go? If this holds water, it's supposed to go to the red line way up here. Okay, now understand. Okay, you're trading right now at $1.28. This is telling you you're going to $1.54. Now remind you, earlier when we were at $1.05, you didn't think we were going to 83 cents, but we did. Okay. Now we're at $1.28. Okay, are we going to $1.54? If you can confidently say, of course we are, because we're on the Fibonacci's, guess what? You can make money with this, because that's right where we went. You understand that? And what happened? We found future D. There it is. And as soon as we got there, what happened? We changed direction. Why? Because now we're on a new sequence. You understand that? Now, how's this going to work for you? How are you going to make money with it? You got to do it in real time. Okay, this repeats itself over and over and over again. If you can identify with this and adopt this, okay, this is going to be the foundation of everything that you do, because now you understand what's moving the market. It's not Donald Trump. You understand that? It's not some CEO at some rogue company in Delaware. Okay, what's moving the market is everything in nature. And if that's too weird for you, but you're struggling, maybe it's the weird thing that you need to adopt, because it works in both directions. Look, when I identify a high price and a low price, and I come in to see right here, right, even though we are now moving in the downward direction, what's happening? We've come up to a blue line. Now, what's supposed to happen? Well, then we're supposed to go from blue to blue. Does it work in both directions? Looks like it does, because it didn't go straight down, but it certainly completed the sequence. And now what's happening? New sequence, okay? New sequence, and looks like a U-turn to me. So guess what? We're going to use the monthly chart, monthly, for one reason, okay? And it's not to do all this extra analysis. That was all to show you that the thing worked. All right, now what are we going to do? We're going to figure out two things: which way we go and where to get in, where to get out. Well, how do we know what direction we're going in? Well, that's pretty easy. Okay, how do we know what direction we're going in? We can see it happening right here. And if we're not sure, we can come up to our smart tool, right? Our smart Fibonacci tool. Just go look for a low price and click on it. It'll tell us which way we're going. Right? Go look for a U-turn and click on it. The auto Fibonacci tool is going to tell you if we're on an up or a down energy band. Okay, in this case, what did it show us? Here's our low price, here's our high price. We came to a U-turn. We bounced off this red level right here. You see it? So guess where we're going? It's not even a question. We're going up. Okay, we're bouncing off of this red energy level and we're going up. Now, we don't put dollars to that yet. You know why? Because we don't need to. All we need to know is which way is the energy pushing us. The answer is up. Now, if you understand that, type the word up. Type the word up. Because this is step one. Okay, got to do two more steps. Up, up, up. You're getting it, right? Good, Tom, Ben, right? Robert, Tiffany, good. Okay, we're going up. Let's confirm it. Okay, I would never suggest that I'm the smartest guy in the room. Okay, what I need to do is confirm what's going on here. So what am I going to do now? I'm going to pull up my day chart. All right, got a little information on my day chart. I'm going to go ahead and clear it up so that I can do this for you from scratch. How do we know? How do we know? How do we confirm? Where do we get permission to trade this thing, right, to the upside? Well, on the daily chart, we're going to look for that confirmation. So let me write that down. Daily equals confirmation. Okay? We got permission to do this? Let's find out. Which side of the market are we on? Let me draw a trend line. Okay? Here, trend line. We're all good at drawing those. Okay? What do we know about this trend line? For a long time, okay, all the way back to September of 2 years ago, this trend line acted like a ceiling. See this? Acted like a ceiling. Anytime we approached the ceiling, we bounced back down off of it. Until when? Until right here where we broke through the ceiling. Okay? As soon as we did that, same trend line is now acting way different. Okay? Now it's acting like a floor. See that? Acting like a floor. And what happened here? We bounced up off the floor. We bounced up off the floor, okay, and now we're over here. What you need to know is this ceiling, this floor separates two sides of the market, okay? Over here, it's the sell zone. Why? Because anytime it approached the ceiling and it fell back, we had to be sellers, okay? Over here, where are we? We just breached into the buy zone because we broke through the ceiling. So now we're on this side of the market, and we bounced up off the floor, okay? So we're halfway there. Now we know we're in the buy zone. We've just got to make sure that the Fibonacci's are telling us that it's okay to be buyers. So what do? Fibonacci's. Why? Because they work on all the time frames, okay? What do? Let's use the SMART tool. All right, I'll use the SMART tool that's right here. SMART Fibonacci's, just find my low price, boom. It shows me all the consecutive sequences. All right, let's just make sure it works. Come on, we'll go back in time for a second. All right, what do you got here? There's your A, okay? There's your low price, A. Here's your high price, B, right? Okay, what happened? Market dipped down, okay? Down to here, that's your low price, and it made this U-turn, okay? That's C, we found it. Great. Look where C is. C lines up with the red energy level. You see that? See where C is? Lines up with the red trampoline. So where are we going? We're going up to this level sometime in the future, right? Did we get there? Of course we did. Why? Because this works, right? Hold on. Take you forward. I'm frozen. There we go. See this? We went all the way to that red line right here. See how it lines up? Okay? And what happened right after that? Change direction. Why? Because we completed the sequence. A, B, C, D was a full sequence. Okay? So now what's happening? We're on a new sequence. We got to bring that energy forward again. Okay? New A, low price. Okay? New B, high price. Okay? All energy is consistent. All energy has to do with other energy, right? It's awesome. So what are we waiting for? We're waiting for C. And we're waiting to see a U-turn. Okay? There it is. Once we spot it, we know where the profit opportunity is. The profit opportunity is between where we are, right, once we identify C, and where we're going, okay? We came down to blue. Where are we going? Blue. Where are we at now? 110, okay? 110, 12. That's where we are now. If this works, we're going to 115.54. What's that equal to? 544 pips, 542 pips. Pips, okay? 5 grand. Just keep it at round numbers. Does it work? You tell me. Not only did we complete the sequence, but as soon as we did, we changed direction again. Why? Because we're on a new sequence. And what you need to understand right now is this is the current sequence, all right? This is what's going to give you permission to buy or sell this currency. And since we're on this sequence, right, A, B, right, what you need to understand is this. We found C. It's down here, and it lines up with the green energy level, and now we're moving up. Higher lows, higher highs. You see that right here, all right? Gang, we're going up. It's just a matter of knowing where. 117.59. Now, my current price is 111.91. So what does it mean? The opportunity right now in the euro, 117.59 is where we're going. 111.91 is where we are, is 568 pips. 568 pips. You see that? So the question becomes, all right, how do we take this from an academic exercise? Okay, because I know what's happening. You know what's happening? When you looked at these two, you were fascinated. All right? You liked it. You're like, hey, that works. Hey, that works. Hey, that works, right? Then you got to this one, the current one, and now you're trying to poke holes in it and tell me why it's not going to work this time. Right? Most traders trip themselves up. They say, if I bought a pumpkin patch, they would cancel Halloween. Does that sound familiar? I'm in your head right now because I know what's going on in your mind. You're thinking, if I do this, it's going to mess up somehow. The world is going to shift like the magnetic poles will shift somehow, and I will lose money if I do this, right? Your thinking cannot change. You found something that works repeatedly. You have to say to yourself, I can do this if it works. I will do this if it works, because there's $5 grand waiting for me, okay? How do you know it's okay to trade this? It's okay because this is where you are. You have just confirmed on the day chart that you have positive energy. Well, why is that thing blue? Don't worry about that yet, okay? I need you to know that this is okay for you to trade. Now I'll go take you to trade it, but you gotta let me know that you get it. Do you understand ABCD? If you do, type ABCD. You got it. Thank you, Paul. All right, Annette, Tom, Tiffany again. All right, you understand that part. So now you're saying, well, how do I go get the $5 grand? Because you don't want it to be a carrot. You want that thing to be dropped on your front doorstep. Okay, let's go get it. It's right here. Right? We use the 2-hour chart. The 2-hour chart. Every chart tells a story. The first two we did ABC. On this one, we're going to do 1, 2, 3. There's 3 steps for you to know when to buy, when to get a good buy low price, right? Buy low, sell high. You've heard of that. When do I get a good buy low price? When the currency's at a discount, but I still got positive energy pushing me to value. Okay? Here's what most traders do. They see a chart like this, right? They only get half of the information, and they decide that that's good enough, right? The half that I learned plus my half is going to be the key to success. And when they see a chart that looks like this, right, they heard me use a buzzword, U-turn. Oh, that looks like a U-turn. But then they start taking shortcuts. They decide when they see this that the currency's breaking out, okay, and it's time to buy it now. But what do? They hesitate, and they say, you know what, it looks like it's breaking out. I'm just going to watch it for a minute, okay? And when they watch it, what happens? It continues to go up. Okay, so now what do? They think, man, I should have bought it back here, but I didn't. Okay, so they've missed out on a profit opportunity. They're still sitting there having done nothing. Then they see a bar that looks like this, and they say, aha, it's a good thing I didn't buy it. Boy, was I right for not buying it. Because now I've got a negative bar. It sure is a good thing that I was so decisive, right? Then what happens, right? Then the thing chills out for a minute, goes nowhere, right? Then they come back to their computer and they say this big bar, right? What do then? They kind of backfill all of their thought process. And they say, I was right the first time. I should have bought it. Now's the time to buy it. And what do? They buy it right there. And they are feeling good about this strong decision. And the very next bar, it gets obliterated. And what do at that point? They freak out and they sell because they don't want to lose money. Well, guess what just happened? They bought high and they sold low. And that happens repeatedly to traders that don't have all the pieces and don't have the ability to be decisive. And when you're alone at your table, that can happen to you. I don't want it to happen to you. It's happened to you before. It happens to everybody. And eventually you learn the lesson. I need the right tools, the right education, and the right team. Well, here, I'm going to give you that part right now, okay? Because when the market does something very specific, it's going to show you unequivocally when to do a 1, 2, 3 buy. You ready for this? Here. I'm going to show you what a good 1, 2, 3 buy looks like. I got to shrink this though so it's a little bit more palatable on the view. A 1, 2, 3 buy is this. Your opportunity to buy your currency at a discount, but also buy it at the right time. What are you looking for? Well, a discount looks like this, right? On the 2-hour chart, when you have something of value, monthly charts going up, right? Daily charts going up. But on the 2-hour chart, it gives you an opportunity to buy it on sale. A bunch of those blue candles together is what you're looking for. That is step 1. You do want to see on the 2-hour chart a strong move to the downside. Please write it down. Strong move down. Okay? And I always use the example. Nobody likes this example, but I always say it's like a Michael Kors handbag at Macy's. Okay, it's a valuable handbag, right? You want that handbag, but it sure is nicer when you walk in the store and it's on sale. Still the same purse, but you're getting it for a discounted price, but it's still valuable. Okay, that's the same thing. You're going to look for something at a discounted price, but you don't want to buy it while it's going down. You want what? Another one of those U-turns on the 2-hour chart. You want to see this thing, right, not going down anymore, but going up. You got to see the candles change color. That's your second step. Candles changing color is your second step. Okay, candles go from blue to white. And most important, you want the white one to peak above the blue one. What's that called? An engulfing candle. Okay, you've heard of that before. What does it mean? It means the buy move is stronger than the sell move before it. It's overtaken the sell move. Okay, if you understand that, then you're ready to do the third step, because now you got your second one. What's the third one? You got to use one indicator. Please don't get freaked out by this, right? Please don't think, oh, this is above my head. Look, you want to be a millionaire, you got to do what millionaires do. Okay, and if you can come up with one indicator, this one's called the stochastic RSI. Okay, all this measures, right, is the buying pressure and selling pressure in your currency. Okay, how do you add it to your chart? Watch this. Couple of clicks. Come over to your indicators button over here on the left. Open up your indicators folder. Okay, there it is. Oh my God, there's 100 indicators. I know. This one works. If this is the only one you ever learn, you're good to go. Okay, we can always amp up your Forex, knowledge as we go forward together. But for now, do this one. Okay, click on it, add it to your chart. All you got to make sure of is this, that you click on these two buttons, overbought and oversold. Overbought and oversold. Got it? Overbought and oversold, and then click OK. That's going to add this indicator to your chart. You want to see how easy this is to read? Anytime that thing is above that little bar that says 80, okay? That is an overbought currency. The buyers are leaving. Guess what? It's time to sell. Anytime it's below 20, right, that's an oversold currency. The sellers are leaving. Guess what that means? Time to buy, okay? What do you need to see if you're a buyer? You want those little squigglies to be below that little number 20. You want them to be in the buy zone. Okay, the chief would say stochastics in the buy zone. Right? If you see it, if you can see these three pieces, type 1, 2, 3. Strong move down, okay? Candles changing color, okay? Engulfing candle, stochastic in the buy zone. Type 1, 2, 3 if you can see it. Type 1, 2, 3. Okay, good. Now I'm going to scare you. Go buy it. Really? Go buy it. That's your signal. Well, I'm not sure. Good. Put a stop on it. You want to relax? Put a stop on it. All right? A stop is going to keep you from having sweaty palms. All right? Where do I put my stop? Well, some people put theirs right at the bottom of the U-turn. That's a little too conservative. All right? I like to put mine 8, 9, 10 pips below. Right there. So if I'm going to get in this thing at a 109.71 and my stop is at 109.48, right? Let me put that just a pinch lower, right? Let's say $25 risk. All right, if I'm doing a one lot or mini lot trade, okay, I'm taking a $25 risk. $25. That's what you're going to do. Okay, you're going to do the trade that I'm showing you. You might take a $25 risk, but what's that going to do for you? Well, if you paid 25 bucks, okay, to find a formula that works, it's worth every penny. Okay, what's going to happen here? Go forward and test it. Okay, what do you see? You see, right, almost immediately that this 1, 2, 3 has told you a story. What's the story? That positive energy is in the market and it's pushing you higher. You see that? You got this. You're in the market right here, and you're pushing this thing higher. All right. Now, how much did you make? Well, if you did this trade, okay, right, your initial little push, your initial bit of enthusiasm netted you about $57 before it pulled back a little bit. Now you're thinking that doesn't look like much, but on a $200 investment, that's 25%. You understand that? Okay. I know everybody's dying for 1,000%, and that's fine. Okay, but you got to start somewhere. And if I can show you how to make 25% on your money, and then you could do that again and again a couple of times, when you start compounding things, okay, that's when it gets to be fun. All right, you got to get the first one under your belt first. Now, if you didn't do the first trade, guess what? The market's pretty forgiving. What does that mean? Well, more of those 1, 2, 3s tend to show up. All right. See this here? That's a strong move down. That's a candle change of color. That's the white one above the blue one. That's the stochastic in the buy zone. You could certainly bite this apple a second time. okay? And I need you to understand that doing the trade is important because things happen kind of fast around here, okay? Things kind of happen fast around here. You see this stem? All right, this, right, trade is delivering at this point, all off of that silly entry, right? But you had 2 chances at it, okay? And look at where you are now, all right? Let's just measure this one out, okay? Look where you are now, all right? From here to here, hold on, this measuring tool, see this little measuring tool? Watch this. All the statistics appear right up here. It'll tell you everything. From here to here, that's 146 pips, and it took about 2.5 days, okay? If you got a standard lot, that's $1,500 in 2.5 days, okay? You got a regular lot, it's 150 bucks. You almost doubled your money in 2.5 days, okay? But you have to be ready to push the button. Now, what do most traders do? They would see this and not do it, okay? They would say, I want it to prove itself. Then they'd watch it proving itself, okay? Now it gets up to this point, and what happens, right? You got a strong move down. You got the candle changing color. Hold on, let me take this off here so you can see it. Hold on, delete. See this? You got a strong move down. You got the candle changing color, okay? You got the white one peaking above this one. It's a stronger move, and you got the stochastic in the buy zone. This is a 1, 2, 3. What do most traders think? Well, it's already gone up 146 pips, right? I missed it. Well, there's a perfect opportunity to get in again. At some point, you have to push the button. You have to believe in something enough to do it. If you're freaked out, set a stop. I don't have time for people that say, I don't want to risk anything. What are you going to risk in this trade? You're going to risk from 110.76 to 110.60. You're putting your stop just below the U-turn, okay? So you're risking 15 bucks. And you have to decide for yourself that something works, because look, something else happened that was positive, okay? And where are you now? Having done this trade, right? If you didn't do the first one, it's okay. On this one, where are you at? Well, you're up, right, 111 pips. You still, right, made $100, 50%. If you did a regular lot, you made $1,000, okay? Now, the question a lot of people have is, well, Joe, if I'm in, you keep talking about those targets, right? How do I know where to put my stop? How do I know where to put my limit? Okay, good question. Guess what you got here? You got an A and a B. You got an A and a B. Where you get in, you go to the most recent A and the most recent B. Watch this. See your A? Okay? See your B? I don't know where to get out. I don't know where to set my target. I don't know what's available in this trade. Well, then put your Fibonacci's on it. It will tell you the story. Look at this. Here's A, here's B, right? Where'd you get in? At this U-turn, right? Off this red energy level. So where are we going? Supposedly, we're going up here. We're supposed to go to 112.18. Okay? Where are we at right now? We're at 111.73. Okay? You could get out of this trade right this second if you wanted to and still make serious money. Okay? But if you want to get the last 45 pips, you just got to decide what works. Does this work? Let's find out. Oh, look, didn't work. Didn't go to the red line. No, not so fast. Sure it did, right? It completes the sequence, A, B, C, D. See that? And now what? Changes direction. Why? New sequence. Joe, this is awesome. I know. It's what I do, okay? Well, if this is so great, what are you doing this for, right? If this is so awesome, how come you're not doing that every day, right? Well, it's a Saturday, so I can help you, and they ask me to, and I'm good at it, right? There's about a handful of people that teach new people, right, at this level worldwide. There's about 5 people that do it, right, at this level. And 3 of them work here, and I know the other 2, right? Mike Ryan is in Cork, Ireland. Mike Stone, no, not Stone. Mike, what's his name? Stewart is in Arizona, right? I know him too. There's only a handful of us that can even do this and show it to you this way in a way that makes sense. And when you start to see that you can do it and that it works, you just have to decide to give it a try. Somebody's making money doing this. Now, I want you to understand, this is important, all right? What are you going to wait for here? You're going to wait for the next 1, 2, 3 entry, because now what's happened? We completed the sequence. Now what? We got to wait for the next opportunity to buy. And it doesn't show up, right? Look, when it looks like we got that U-turn, we don't have the stochastic in the right place. See that? We're in no man's land. Okay, we got to wait for the right opportunity to buy. And it's going to look like a 1, 2, 3 because that's what we're looking for. Here's what you need to know, all right? Not every move up is one you're going to capture, right? Any idiot can come here and go, if you got in here and you got out there, you made $1 million. But there's a right time to get in and a right time to get out, okay? Does it work every time? I'm going to tell you something. You see this one right here? That's a 1, 2, 3, okay? That's a 1, 2, 3. But did that one work? And now it looks like you got stopped out, right? You might have nabbed a couple of pips out of it if you were day trading it, but I'm going to tell you here that that one was a dud. Oh, well, okay? I got to show you duds once in a while because that's part of trading, okay? But when you look for the next one and it offers you, okay, that's a 1, 2, 3 right there, okay? The professional trader says, I'm going to stick with my plan. I'm going to stick with my formula, okay? The professional trader says, I'm going to do what I need to do. And the fact of the matter is, not long after this dud, okay, the right trade showed up. That's the entry, okay? That's the entry. And the fact of the matter is, when you see that entry, 1, 2, 3, you're in, okay? Hold on. You're in. That's a 1, 2, 3. Now, what do you do with it? Put the fibs on it, just to make sure, okay? This was your dud. Come on, Joe. This was your entry, okay? Put the fibs on it. This will clear up everything you've been trying to clear up. And you got to keep it simple because that's an A and that's a B and this is a U-turn at the red trampoline. This is it, okay? If that's the case, where is this going? It's going to 112.74. If you're in at 111.53 and we're going to 112.74, that's your opportunity to make 124 pips. Now, you did it a couple of times with a mini lot because you wanted to see if it worked. You did it with a mini lot because you wanted to have proof of concept, okay? You're not going to trade mini lots when you have something that works. You're going to be able to step it out a little bit. And you can trade anywhere in between. You could trade 2 mini lots, $2 a pip. You can trade 3 mini lots, $3 a pip, right? You'll be able to get comfortable with wherever you're comfortable, right? 5 mini lots, $500, $5 a pip. You understand? And look, where we go, we went to our target, and what happened then? We already know, all right? Once we hit the target, and of course, this one was an ABC, 1, 2, 3 also, all right? We fulfill it. Now, just go to real time, gang. Stop arguing with it. Go to real time. And what do you see here? Oh, wow. I see a strong move down. You bet you do. I see a candle change in color, but it's not engulfing. That's not a good trade. Right. So even though you have permission to trade it, you ain't trading the euro yet. Why not? Because we need the whole thing to line up. So now you know what a good trade looks like, and you know what a no trade looks like. That's a no trade. I've just helped you completely. Okay? And if you got this in your back pocket, then you're ready to do this. All you got to do is give yourself a chance to do it. Here's what I'm going to do. All right? I'm going to let you get this on your desk today. All right? Auto tools included, right? The interactive training built in so that if you didn't memorize everything I said, one touch away, you're going to be able to go through a couple of lessons that breaks this down into individual pieces so you'll be able to pick it up. All right, get your username and password. Normally it's $249 a month, but if you want to try this thing out, test it out, get on the team today, whatever, I'll let you do that 2 months risk-free, right, for free, so that you can prove to yourself that this works. All right, if you're interested in doing that, let me know. All right, when we break, we'll reach out to you, and the fact of the matter is we'll tell you everything you need to know to make this happen. All right, dot a few I's, cross a few T's. What are you going to do when you get this home? What are you going to do when you get it on your desk? You're going to go through the steps that I showed you. Watch how quickly now you can do it. All right? Go find a currency. It works in all of them. Okay? Go find a currency. Pull up your month, your day, and your hourly chart. Okay? Where do you find them? Just click on New Chart. See this? See this? Good. Yeah, Tom, thank you. Right? 214 area code. Give me a way to reach you so we can talk this through. Right? Tell you exactly what you need to do to make it happen. But when you get it home, right, bring up your monthly chart. Does this work on the Australian dollar? Of course it does, right? Just go find a low price and a high price anywhere. Here, low price, high price. Hooray. U-turn. See it? There it is, right? Red trampoline, right? Where are we going? Well, we're supposed to go from red to red. Future D is out here. Look at that. It didn't go there by mistake. It didn't go there by mistake. I'm not telling you it was close. I'm telling you it went right there. Okay, ABCD, it works on the Australian dollar too. So what are you going to do? You're going to find out which way the Australian dollar is going right now. Go get your smart tool. Go find the low price. It'll tell you. This is our current Fibonacci. Okay, we've got a low price and a high price. We've dipped down to the blue line. If we're bouncing off a C, we're headed up to D. And look, it's happening, right? Where's D? It's up here. Okay, up here, keyword up. Our direction on the Australian dollar is up. How long did that take? 15 seconds. So then what do? We go to the daily chart, right? Are we on the right side of things? Used to be a ceiling. Then it broke through the floor, right? There it is. Look at how that behaved. Came right down to the floor, bounced up. I put the auto fibs on this just by going to the smart tool, finding the low price, and it draws it for me. So I can see that this is what I'm on. And look at what I got here, right? Look at that energy bouncing right off of it. Higher lows, higher highs. You got it? I love it. We got a nice low price right now on the Australian. This is prime. And where are we going? Red to red. Red to red. Well, where are we at? 75 and change. Where are we going? 79 and change. 400 pips. 4,000 bucks. 200%. Right? No matter how you slice it. We got permission to buy the Australian. What do? Make sure it works, right? I've highlighted these, right? And there's some duds in the mix. There's some duds. But when that energy comes into the market, gang, what you got to look for is the same thing every time. Okay? Look at it. There's a 1, 2, 3. Buy it. Make some money. Oh, I missed it. Well, good. It'll give you another chance. There's a 1, 2, 3. Buy it. Make some money. Okay? This works. And now you're saying, well, okay, I can see that. What do I have right now? In the last week and a half, okay, it's a total of 9 trades. You check your currencies, you see what it is you're going to buy. If you're not buying the euro this week, you're probably looking at a different currency. It's the yen, it's the pound, right? Go over there, right? What's moving now? Well, then we'll shift over here. Within those 6, you're going to find a trade. You might not find 10, but you're going to find 1, okay? Go trade it. Put your stop, put your limit on. You're either going to make a small loss or a nice gain. That's the end of it. Now, I'm in love with the Australian dollar right now. Why? Most people are freaking out. I'm saying, okay, coming into a low price, give me my candle. Because when that candle shows up, it works. Okay? Give me my candle. That's it. Okay? You're ready to do this. In fact, here's your first chance right after we break. Today, 1 o'clock. If you're serious about this, I'm going to separate the group right now. If you're serious about doing this, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get you into a room where you can get your first taste of this. Okay? I know you don't have it all memorized yet, right? You got to still get the software on your desk so you're singing off the same sheet of music with us. But if somebody just invited you to a session, right, and said, hey, come down to the exchange. We're going to do some trading together. You'd get there. You'd get a bus ticket to get there, right? What you got to do first is download this software. Okay, I can do that. What we're going to do is we're going to give you a couple of trades so that you can see what we're doing right now for everybody else in our group. Okay, here's the first one. Write it down. Pound Australian. Pound Australian. Okay? All the analysis is on your screen. If you screenshot it, all the analysis is done for you. Okay? You're looking at 195 pips. Again, 65 pips of risk. So that's a good 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio. But net on this, we're looking at 10-to-1. Okay? 10-to-1. And the bottom line is, all right, you got 2 choices. You can use this as a trial horse. I want to see if it works, right? Or you can do this one. Okay? You get to decide that. I don't have to. Not for you. I can do all this other stuff. You got to push the button at some point. Okay? But one way or the other, you're going to have some proof. I'd rather you had proof with some dollars in your pocket. But when you get to this session today, okay, and reserve a spot, okay, when you get to that session today, we'll set up your charts on all the currencies. We'll repeat the formula so you get it. Repetition is going to be the mother of success. Okay? You find something that works, you keep doing that. And all that other stuff you've been trying to do, you forget about. Because you have to. You have to put that stuff out of your mind. All right? Let's put a couple of trades together for you. We'll give you the heavy lifting part because that's what help is about, right? Can you just show me? If you show me, I can do it. Great. We'll do it. Okay? We'll set you up for 1,000 pips on the pound, all right? And the biggest move, and you want to really be a part of this, all right? The Japanese yen, especially with Janet Yellen's announcement from the other day on the US dollar, the Japanese yen, gang, it's about to deliver, okay? We're talking about by the time the year ends, 6,000 to 8,000 pips. Even if we only get half of that, all right? We're talking about 3,000 to 4,000 pips for you. And if that's on a mini account, you're talking about 3 or 4 grand. Great, that might help pay for Christmas. But if you can get this and understand this and just scrape together $2,000, okay, so you can trade full lots, you're talking about 30 or 40 grand by Christmas, and that's really why you come. The investors want to be inspired, not by nickels and dimes, okay? You want to be inspired by something that works, okay, and you want to be inspired by a real number, all right? I want you to be there for that one. In fact, again, just to show you how serious I am about this, start taking screenshots. All right, there's the Canadian yen. We did the analytics. You're looking at 1,300 pips, okay, to the upside. Bouncing right off a Fibonacci level. It's gorgeous, okay? Same thing here. Pound yen, okay? Bouncing right off a Fibonacci level. You're like, I can see it. There's the A, there's the B. I'm telling you, we waited almost a year for this thing to come in. This is the monthly chart. We've waited almost a year for this U-turn, and it's happening now, okay? That's what, here, take a screenshot of this last one. There's the euro yen, 5,000 pips. We've waited a year for this A, B, now we're at C. We've waited a year for this, okay? Your timing couldn't be any better. It's just a matter of you saying, I got to give this thing a shot. I see what Joe's talking about. I can visualize the fibs on there all by myself. There's A, there's B, we come down to C. Look at this gorgeous counter trend line break. It is happening, okay? You can either get it or miss it. I don't want you to miss it. Well, maybe I'll make money later. Stop. Make some money now because you can do this. You know what you need to know. You're a Forex trader. I just messed up your whole life. Because if you didn't know Forex before this, now you do. Okay? So now I got to put you to a decision. Right? Are you going to try this? All right? Well, let me give you a 2-day class so you have your I's dotted and T's crossed. All right? We'll do a little bit of immersion. You got time to plan for that. Okay? But the 8th and the 9th, I need you. Okay? So if we can go through this for a couple of days, we'll trade live together, but we'll go through every last detail of this program. Okay? If you learned what you did today in an hour and a half, imagine what you're going to learn in 2 days with our group. All right? The fact of the matter is you're not going to be by yourself. All right? That group is going to be full of people that are just like you, right? Well, maybe not exactly like you because people come from different backgrounds, right? So here's Sophia, here's Trapile, here's Sharon, here's John. Those are all different kinds of people, but they all had the same thing in mind. Okay? They wanted to make some dough, right? They weren't traders beforehand. One's a teacher, one's an engineer, one's a doctor, right? One's a retail, whatever it is, okay? But they said, you know what, let me find something that works. I'm going to keep doing that. And we built our whole business on this thing, gang. This formula, we game plan it every Sunday. We teach you 1, 2, 3 because that's what we do, all right? You'll have a game plan every week. And when we are making 1,500 to 4,000 pips a week, okay, when you can look at this sheet now and understand exactly what I'm talking about, you're there, okay? It's just going to be a matter of you coming and doing it. So if you're interested in doing that, let me know. Let me know. Put a phone number in the chat box and say, Joe, we're going to talk about it, okay? I got a couple of questions. Let's get them answered, all right? Want to get on the team? I'm going to introduce you to somebody that's going to be your point person here, okay? Somebody that's on my team. And the fact of the matter is, they're going to be able to continue to walk you through this till you get it. Okay? That's the name of the game. Get you into a 2-day class, and then we go kick some butt. All right? Apply your training. That's my favorite part. Let's go do it. You got to be ready. You've got to be ready. I know you've got the knowledge, but you've got to be mentally ready to do this. And that comes with confidence, and it comes with repetition. Okay? This is what the Ultimate Traders Package is. It's confidence from education and tools, software, right? Online university that's built into the program and a 2-day class, okay? Then it comes from doing it. Let's go trade it. Mini lots first, fine, get your feet wet, all right? But I'm gonna tell you that when you start doing some live webinars, when you can log in anytime with us and either get us in a chat room or on the phone to help you with your trades, okay? When you can come and learn right from the top dog if you want to. The fact of the matter is that's going to be what you need to push this forward and be successful, and I'll give you 60 days to do it. 60 days to try it out and test it out. Why? Because I believe in this. Why? Because I believe in you and our ability to teach you, okay? Not 10 days to kick the tires, not 15 days or 30 days, because that's not going to be enough, okay? We understand what you need. You got to put it to the test for your own sake. And you'll believe in this a lot more than me telling you or a bunch of testimonials. You'll see it coming right off your screen. So I'll give you 60 days to get some results before you have to decide if you want to keep it or not. Okay? Now with that, everybody's wondering how much it is. And let me tell you, the value of it is massive. All right, if we had to put a value to it, and we do this on our website, we take all the individual items that are in the Ultimate Traders Package, and we put a value to it, and it's about a $15,000 value. And you're looking at that going, you know what? Probably worth every penny. If it does half of what he showed me, it's worth every penny of that because it'll pay for itself probably a bunch of times over, okay? Only way to find out is to prove it to yourself. Well, here's what I'm going to do, all right? I'm going to give you a chance to do it and save you a ton of money. Watch this, all right? There's 2 ways to get the program, 2 ways to get on this team and get all those pieces. Number 1, you can go to my website, right? You can fill out the little form there. MasterCard, Visa, American Express is fine. What happens there is, right, it's not 15 grand, but we get you halfway home with it because online the retail for the whole program is $79.95. Okay, that's online, that's retail. You can do that any day you like. Here's how we do it though at Investor Inspiration. Okay, what we do here is because you spent this time and you are now ready. You got enthusiasm, you got knowledge, you're going to get the program on your desk. All right, this was valuable time for you and for us because now you can get in the trading room, right, and hit the ground running. What that means is we want to give you value for this time, and we do it. We do at the Investor Inspiration Workshop, we immediately take $2,000 off the online retail for the program, meaning what? Well, when you start, you can get started for a one-time investment of $59.95. Now, there's 2 ways to do that, okay? 2 ways to do it, and I bet one of these is going to work for you, all right? What's the first one? Well, that's option A. Most of our students do that. They say, look, if you're going to warranty this, I'll get started. You're going to give me 60 days. Let me put it on my Visa, American Express, MasterCard, whatever, right? They take care of the tuition up front, and I give you 2 months of the charts while you're testing it out, okay? What's the other plan? Well, that's a financing option. Well, what do I need to do there? All right. For some of you, you got to get your foot in the door, okay? And you might not be able to fit $59.95 on your Visa card. I get it. What this allows you to do is this. You put down a small down payment, all right? We customize a payment plan for you for the remainder, right? Something that's affordable, that fits your budget, that makes you comfortable. You'll just tell us what you can afford, and we'll figure out the best way to make payments. Some people call it like a pay-as-you-go plan because they make a few pips, and on a monthly basis, they take care of their tuition. It is what it is, but that gives you the opportunity to get your foot in the door, right? Get all the benefits that go with this, and you still get 60 days, right, to prove this to yourself. Now watch this. Here's how this works. Because yes, you're going to get the software. Yes, you're going to get into the class today. Yes, you're going to get a 2-day class and so forth. But the most important thing you get, gang, is the opportunity to get results. All right, and we back this up. Watch this. We say use it for 60 days. And if after 60 days, for any reason, you decide this isn't for you. You decide, you know what, I did it, doesn't work. If you decide that, right, if you decide it's not your cup of tea, if you make $1 million in 60 days but still decide that this just isn't for you, it's okay. What we'll say is this. Just give us back the stuff, and we will refund every penny that you paid just for trying it out. What I'm trying to tell you is your downside is going to be 0. We'll protect you the whole time, and it's in writing. Let that be the first question you ask us, all right? And it's real because we've been at this for 22 years. You have to understand, that's in writing. 60 days, you get to try it out and test it out, make sure that it works, right? If it's not for you, it's not for you. Your risk is 0, okay? Your upside is phenomenal. And you want to talk about upside? I'm so confident that you're going to do well at this, that we can teach it to you, and that this works. I'm actually going to guarantee your upside because I don't want you wasting your time, okay? I want you to understand, if you invest a little bit of time in this program, okay, what I'm going to tell you is we're going to show you 2,000 pips in that 60 days. And if we don't, okay, if we don't show you in that 60 days that you agree to try this out, because you're making a commitment, we'll make one to you, okay? If we don't show you not just that this works, but we don't show you 2,000 pips, you don't owe us a dime. Why do we do that? Gang, because we're experts at this, and we can do that. Nobody else does that. There's no other Forex group out there that's even going to promise you a toaster, okay? But we'll promise you 2,000 pips, or you don't owe us a thing. That's called putting your money where your mouth is. This is what we do. All right, so at this point, you just got to make a decision. If you want to try this, I'll give you 2 layers of warranty underneath it. You just got to let me know. Are you going to be an option A or an option B? Tell me what you're thinking, right? If you're thinking, well, Joe, I want to talk about this for a second. Who do I need to talk to? Well, then give me a number, right? If you got a question, put that next to your name, okay? If you're leaning towards option A, great. If you're leaning towards option B, just let me know that, all right? Just let me know that in the chat box. Put an A or a B right there, right? And I'll make sure that we get in touch with you. We'll do this now because in a few minutes, I got to get you into that session with Josh. So this is kind of a big deal, all right? And good, look at that. All All right, who's going to go ahead and get started? Stephen, I have you as an A. Thank you for that, right? That's where you're leaning. I appreciate it, all right? 5 or 10 minutes it'll take you to get on this team. We're going to have that conversation. Don't walk away from your phone because it's going to ring. All right, Javier, I've got you as a B. That's perfect, the way that you did it. Lisa's got a question, says B. Tom, you said you're a B, and that's fine. All right, those couple others of you that have given me a number, all right, just let me know which way you're thinking. All right, the most important thing you need to know today is I'm backing you up. I don't want you wasting your time. I'm backing you up, okay? You don't want to be wasting your time or your resources. I'm backing you up. Okay, and if you get started today, I'll tell you what, I'm going to plan for your success. This is how much this means, because some of you are thinking, well, that $249 a month charting, right, after I do my 60 days, right, what about that $249 a month? Stop worrying about nickels and dimes is all I'm going to tell you. All right, you want to see me plan for your success? How about this? If you're worried about the charts, don't. Okay, if you're an option B today, I'll give you a little action bonus. Okay. Instead of $249 a month, I'll take care of your charts for 6 months. I'll hand you $1,500 worth of value there so that you can worry about one thing over the next 60 days, getting results. You want them. That's why you're here. Okay? Some of you are thinking, well, I'll try it for 60 days. No, you want results. The last thing you want to do is return it. That's the last thing you want to do. You want to find something that works. Okay? If you decide to return it, fine. But you want to find something that works, and I'm going to plan for your success. You're in option B, I'll give you 6 months of charts. Option A, I'll pay for them for a year, okay? That's like handing you $3,000 worth of value. And as a matter of fact, if you're saying, well, I want to learn from the top guy, right? You sound good, Joe, you know your stuff. That Josh guy sounds like he knows his stuff, but I want to work with the top guy. How about it? I'll do this, but I want to learn it from the guy that invented it. Okay, if that's your sticking point, here's what I'll tell you, okay? You can work with the chief. In his trading room, he's going to do this 4 days this week, and it's the last time he's going to do this. He's been teaching this mastery course for 22 years, how to trade the Forex right from him. He normally charges 10 grand to work with him. But if you say, I want to work with that guy, you get on the team today, this week, to get you started, you get to do it. 1, 2, 3, 4 days. And I'll let you do that for free.